Hi, my guest today is Jacqui Crooks, EFT Founding Master, who has been doing a lot of work on money and how we can bring more into our lives. So welcome, Jacqui.
Hi, Tania. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to talk to you again.
All right. So I know you do, banging things around here. I know you do a lot of work with money in this new program that you've developed. Can you tell me the difference between you kind of working with money and working with abundance? Because I know a lot of people are very familiar with the concept of abundance. What's the difference between the two things?
Well, for me, I've often worked with abundant stuff successfully, but I was aware that for myself, it was like if I called it abundance, it felt okay. If I called it money, it was really uncomfortable, which is really a sign that there's still some stuff there about actually having, filthy lucre, actually having the cash in your hands or the zeros in your bank account. And it's like I could work with people on abundance issues and they were quite happy to do abundance stuff because then they'd do abundance of friends or abundance of this or abundance of that. And somehow the abundance of money was sort of there but not quite there, and they'd see it out of the corner of their eye, and that was okay. And I think really realising for myself that it was actually cash that was making me feel uncomfortable. And so therefore there were beliefs around having cash as opposed to having abundance that was still in play for me. And as I've been working through doing that for myself, I thought I'm not the only person, I'm sure, who has that. There's so much stuff that we've inherited from families and friends and society about money.
Yeah. Well, from my own experience, I know people can have very strong emotions about money. I was once running a training course and we talked about dealing with money and someone burst into tears. So I can certainly...
myself.
Oh, huge emotion. They left the room because it seems so wrong to want money. So I can see the distinction you're making between money itself and the concept of abundance, There can be a lot of emotion around that, especially within the helping professions which we work a lot with, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's so tied up with our view of our own worth, and it's those warped views that we've inherited, we've picked up, we've created for ourselves. And although money is what I was focusing on, in actual fact, it's the perfect metaphor to allow us to get at all the slightly warped beliefs we have about who we are and our place in the world and what we deserve.
So maybe you could give us some of those wonderful, I say wonderful, but wonderful warped beliefs, because the interesting thing is when there are beliefs, they don't seem so warped, do they? They seem real. What kind of beliefs have you come across that people hold that's been pushing money away from them?
Well, often it's that I don't deserve it. Other people deserve it more than I do. One of my dad's favourite things was, when I was a small child, if I'd run errands for neighbours, they'd want to give me a penny for doing it. Tell how old I am that it would be a penny. And he wouldn't let me take it.
Ah, right.
And he used to say, you should be glad to do it just for the sake of doing it. So it was like the value was in giving myself up or my time up for somebody else, because somebody else's needs were greater than mine. And, with the best of intentions, and because he believed it himself, I know, the meaning I made of it was that I come last in the line. Everybody else has to be okay. Everybody else has to have what they need, what they want, before it's my turn. It's no wonder I try to help people do things, because unless they get it fixed, how can I do it for me?
And it is, you bring the point that your father said that, and he honestly believed that from the core of his heart, I'm sure. And on the surface, it looks a really good thing to be doing, but in reality, it's the consequences, isn't it?
And really, if you'd actually talked to him about it, I'm sure he would have come up with something that was more useful than that. But it's, as a very small child, you're trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. So with that little bit that comes from somebody, you can create an entire world system that you're trying to live within.
Yeah.
Which they didn't often intend in that way. But and the other thing is, I had a flashback when I was doing some work on money for myself with a colleague, and I was triggered straight back to Sunday school, aged about 7, when they were talking about it being easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. And I just really remember that thing in my head saying, you hadn't better ever be rich then, because getting into heaven is obviously really important. So, you know, I've always had the belief that I'll survive, I'll have enough, but if you actually asked me to have money in the bank, or money enough to be able to do this without thinking about it, you know, that's a completely different thing. So you know, I had made that decision at 7 that enough to survive was fine, enough to do the things that I personally wanted to do was not okay.
Yeah. And it's amazing what kind of impact that has. But as you pointed out there, religious type of upbringing can have a profound effect, can't it, really?
Absolutely, yes. You know? Yes, you know, and the things like filthy lucre and, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, you know, and you can't have, my mother's favourite, you can't have everything you want, you know. So, you know, then you start working out, well, I want a loving relationship, so I better not have the money, because if I can't have everything I want, if I choose the money, I might lose the relationship. And none of this is going on a conscious level. This is, you know, the subconscious and the small young child parts of you with their limited understanding of what was going on, trying to make sense of things, trying to make rules that will keep you safe. So some of them sound really bizarre when you actually say them out loud. But, you know, I know from my own experience, when you actually do the work, the feelings are there with them, and that's what tells you it's important.
Yeah, and it's like an unconscious program that we just run that controls our lives, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And at one point I was, you know, my business was doing particularly well, and I'd actually got money in the bank, and I looked at it and I felt sick. And I could see the part of me that was going, well, I could buy this and this and this and this. Let me get rid of it. Let me get it out of the bank. It just was too, to have it actually sitting there looking at me. Yeah, because again, if everybody can't have it, I'm not supposed to have it. So then I'm a bad girl if I've got it and other people haven't got it.
Yeah. So with all of that, if I was a person listening to this video right now and I had those kind of beliefs, where would you suggest I started with that? Using EFT?
Yeah, well, one of the things you can do is use, you know, what's known in NLP and hypnosis circles as artfully vague language. So you can give instructions to the subconscious without actually knowing exactly what it is that's going on. So, you know, one of the simplest things is, even though I'm carrying all of these beliefs about money, I'd like every part of me to understand some of those I borrowed from other people. And some of those I created when I didn't have enough information to create useful beliefs. And I'd like every part of me to know that was then and this is now. I've survived and it's okay to do it differently. So it's just a sort of sneaky way of setting the scene, really. And something as general as that, it almost makes the subconscious prick its ears up. Oh, right. What, really? Okay, so let me just go in and see. What did you... I see when you do something like that, the subconscious going in, ferreting through the filing cabinets. You know, okay, so something that's not hers. Yep, well, that's not hers, and that's not hers, and that's not hers. Something she made up when she was really little and didn't have enough information. Well, that one would do, and that one, and that one. So although you're not actually doing anything specifically, it's already on the march, it's already on the move, it's already considering what it can do to help you. Because the subconscious will help you in the best way it can. You just need to let it know what the best way is, because sometimes its version of the best way is not always the most useful to you.
Yeah. So I just have to go for this, Jacqui. If I was that person with that issue, how would we do it with the EFT? We've got to do some tapping here, haven't we? Let's tap it through a little bit so people can follow with us. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tap along with Tania and I, and we'll borrow it, and you'll borrow it.
I'm ready for this.
And I do most of the tapping on the karate point. So
I think you're going to need to lift your hands up for the camera, or just go slightly back so people can see your hands a little bit better, Jacqui.
Okay, I'll wave it up here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So even though I'm carrying a whole lot of beliefs about money,
I'm carrying a whole lot of beliefs about money.
And about how safe it is for me to have it.
And about how safe it is for me to have it.
Or rather, how unsafe it is for me to have it.
Or rather, how unsafe it is for me to have it.
And I've been living with those beliefs.
And I've been living with those beliefs.
For almost my entire life.
For almost my entire life.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And the people who helped me to create those beliefs.
And the people who helped me create those beliefs.
Even though
I
inherited a whole bunch of beliefs about money.
I inherited a whole bunch of beliefs about money.
From the people around me.
From the people around me.
Who inherited them from people around them.
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 I don't know how far back some of these beliefs go.
I don't know how far back some of these beliefs go.
But they'll be linked to starvation.
But they'll be linked to starvation.
They'll be linked to being thrown out of houses.
They'll be linked to being thrown out of houses.
They'll be linked to not being able to help your family to survive.
They'll be linked to not being able to help your family survive.
And whatever was created just got passed down the family line.
And whatever was created just got passed down the family line.
There was no way to think about whether that was useful or not.
There was no way to think about whether that was useful or not.
Because I was just too young.
Because I was just too young.
I just swallowed it all.
I just swallowed it all.
I thought that was the rule.
I thought that was the rule.
And I've been living it.
And I've been living it.
As though that's true.
As though that is true.
Right up until now.
Right up until now.
And I deeply and completely.
And I deeply and completely.
Love and forgive and accept myself.
Love and forgive and accept myself.
And all the people involved.
And all the people involved.
And even though
I
made up a few really lovely beliefs just myself.
Even though I made up some myself, yeah?
Yeah. And I didn't have enough information.
And I didn't have enough information.
To make up ones that work well.
To make up ones that work well.
I just made up ones I thought might work.
I just made up ones I thought might work.
And I've been using those ever since too.
And I've been using those ever since too.
And I'd like every part of me to know.
And I'd like every part of me to know.
That the world is different now.
That the world is different now.
And I'm different now.
And I'm different now.
I have so much more information.
I have so much more information.
And so many more resources.
And so many more resources.
And maybe it's finally okay.
And maybe it's finally okay.
To release all of that stuff.
To release all of that stuff.
The stuff that's not mine.
The stuff that's not mine.
The stuff I made mine.
The stuff I made mine.
Because maybe it's finally time.
Because maybe it's finally time.
To create some really healthy beliefs around money.
To create some really healthy beliefs around money.
And about my worth in the world.
And about my worth in the world.
Because that would be much more use to me.
Because that would be much more use to me.
And everyone else around me.
And everyone else around me.
And I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
All parts of me.
And all parts of me.
And everyone involved.
And everyone involved.
It's old stuff.
It's old stuff.
A lot of it wasn't even mine.
A lot of it wasn't even mine.
And some of it I made mine.
And some of it I made mine.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
I did a great job.
I did a great job.
Just as they did.
Just as they did.
With the knowledge and information we had.
With the knowledge and information we had.
And now I've got new knowledge.
And now I've got new knowledge.
And new information.
And new information.
And maybe it's okay.
And maybe it's okay.
To keep myself safe.
To keep myself safe.
In new, safe, healthy,
in new
and wealthy ways.
In new, safe, and health and wealthy ways.
In new, safe, health, safe, yeah.
Yeah, it's cutting out slightly there, Jacqui.
You can always tell when there's emotions coming around because Skype, I don't know whether other people notice, but when you're working with clients, if they hit a big emotion, Skype crashes or they freeze. So obviously we're working on little parts of us there.
Yeah.
So if you like, Tania, what that does is sort of set the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling the parts of us what we're expecting.
Yeah.
And from that position, then I would start asking more specific things of the client. So, you know, if you were to think about being able to let go of those old beliefs that aren't yours, that came from the family, how does that feel? Where's the feeling in your body?
Yeah.
And so you do some tidying up around that. So if you think about letting go of the beliefs you created as a little child that you're still living, how does that feel? And of course, if they've got specific beliefs, and often if I'm working on money stuff or something like that, I would ask them to send me the beliefs that they come up with first, so then I can sort of weave them into what we do. You know, so what are you? I'd ask them, you know, what are your specific things around money? You know, if you think about having that money, what does that do to your body?
Yes.
Where do you feel that? What's the voice in your head saying? And if you're doing this on your own, journaling is great. Start writing. You know, when I think about having money, and you'll find your subconscious will just keep that flow going, and just keep writing and keep writing and keep writing and keep writing, because then you've got the information there for you to start tapping on.
Yeah.
Because if you're working on your own, you know, it's almost like you need to have the observer there. And if you haven't got a real observer, then make your journal the observer.
Yeah.
Because you'll get a lot of clarity writing stuff out. Or you could talk into your phone, and you know, when I think about having money, and just talk to yourself.
Yeah, I think, you know, once you start verbalizing it, once you start writing it down, it just begins to flow, doesn't it? It's kind of
and you'll be astonished at what you come up with. Usually, and how illogical to an adult it looks.
Yeah, that brings a good point up though, Jacqui, isn't it? Because sometimes people think when the absolute ridiculous pops to mind, they sometimes dismiss it and think, nah. But no, it's not. The ridiculous can be what you believe, yeah?
Yeah, and usually I would find the more illogical and the more ridiculous, the more power it has. Because it's telling you that this was created by a really young child who didn't have the information to make it make sense.
Yeah.
So, you know, no 2-year-old or 3-year-old is going to come up with a nicely crafted version of money beliefs that are helpful. Because they just don't have the understanding. They don't have the information. You know, if you were doing it as an adult and you say, what money belief would I like to have? You could craft something beautifully. You might not believe it, but you could at least craft it. But the more illogical it is, the more you know you're likely to be on the real issue, because it will be a small, young part of you that did it.
Yeah, so thank you very much for sharing that. Now, you know, I just invite people to tap along with what Jacqui has shared with us here today, you know. And if people wanted to find out more about the kind of webinars that you're running, Jacqui, where would they need to go?
My website is www.jacquicrooks.com, JACQUI.com. And there's, under the programs button, It's money, but money online, money programs online. And I will be taking people through clearing the stuff that's not theirs, then clearing the stuff they created themselves. And then from what looks as though it's a nice, neutral, beautifully sorted place, going, okay, this is 12 months' time, and you've just earned £50,000. The money is there in your bank account. You've got a wad of notes in your wallet. Where's the feeling in your body? Because you're looking for what else is going on.
Yeah.
So it might be, oh, well, yes, I can have it, but I can't have it yet. Or I'm going to have to work really, 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 really hard if I do it, if I want money. Or, it's something that's in the future. So you're looking for all the yes buts. You're looking for all the what ifs, all the stuff that stops you moving forward. Because I often think, you clear the past stuff and then it's a bit like being in neutral. So you're no longer reversing, but you're in neutral. And if you want to go somewhere, you're going to have to get that momentum going. Well, if over there is all this stuff going, no, this is too hard, this is too scary, you're just going to sit idling in neutral.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people do have that belief to earn money, you need to work really hard. Yeah.
Yes. And I do it myself sometimes. I'll see somebody in a similar line of work to me and they're doing something and I think, that looks interesting, and I then go, I wouldn't want to do all the work that entails. And the truth is, I could do something that works for me with the amount of work that I'm happy to do. Because if you are earning money, then you delegate.
Yes. It's a wonderful skill to have.
I'm fantastic at delegating and having people do things for you. It's something that I'm getting better at. I have a VA, but I don't work her properly. But I'm working towards that. Yeah. But it does help. If you've got some money coming in, then you can get somebody else to do the parts that is a waste of your time.
Yeah.
So if you're talented at something like EFT, it's a waste of your time trying to learn how to build a website or to learn how to structure a newsletter or whatever. It's far more valuable for you to actually give the information to somebody who will do it for you and spend that time working with clients.
Absolutely.
Better for the clients and better for you.
And also it keeps the world revolving, doesn't it, really?
Cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know that, when you have money issues, and certainly speaking from my own perspective, when I'm in a space of not feeling abundant or not feeling financially abundant, I only see the money going out.
Yes.
I can't see anything coming in at all. And it's a cycle.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how we do that to ourselves. We see it as a one-way street rather than a cycle. And of course, there's a logical thing is, if you want to be able to give things to people, you have to be able to receive. Because, it's not fair if you're always giving and somebody else is always receiving. But we're so much happier giving than we are in receiving. Yeah. And it's learning to be comfortable both ways and just to seeing it as part of that wheel of life, really.
I think Deepak Chopra said that. He had a beautiful quote which says, money is like blood. It must flow both ways. And that sums that up very beautiful. So again, Jacqui, if you just give your website address if people want to find out more about the work that you do.
Thank you. It's www.jacquicrooks.com. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you've got any comments or questions about what we talked about today, just email me, Jacqui@jacquicrooks.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Tania.
Bye-bye.